To begin compositing our image, we are going to open up our pictures into Photoshop. So let's click File, Open. Go to the download where I've provided you with the images and click on Krista Driving, Krista Outside, and Krista 2. Open those, and when we do this, they'll open as different documents in Photoshop, which is fine. Let's see, we want to place them all on top of this layer. So we'll click on Krista Outside, unlock this layer, drag it over. Now when I click and drag my layer from one document to another, if I hold down Shift, as I let go of my click, it'll place it in the middle of the document. With this one, I'll show you if I don't hold down Shift, it'll place it wherever I let go. But then I can just click and drag, snap it to the middle. So I'll unlock this base layer and I'll call this one, so this is my Krista Driving. Krista Driving. Krista Outside 1. That was this one. And then this one is Krista Outside 2. Okay, so I have my 3 layers and I want to place them on top of each other in the exact right position. So you can see that between this image and this one, the tripod moved a little bit. Between this one and this one, we have another change. I think I zoomed out a little bit, which was a big no-no, but I did it, so we have to fix it now. So what we're going to do is use a little trick with blend modes to align these perfectly. I will go to the top layer. So right now I'm aligning Krista Outside 1 to Krista Driving. So with Krista Outside 1 selected, I will change it to a difference blend mode. Difference blend mode shows you the difference between your layers, right? So if I zoom in here, I can see exactly where both layers are. Now I want to drag this around until it matches up. So basically what I've done is I've just selected a point on my image that is the same in both pictures. And the top of the car and the antenna is a good area to match. So now I can move this around. Make sure you're moving your top layer and not your bottom layer, because we're going to align both images to the bottom layer, so that one needs to stay the same. And then I can use my up and down arrows to just kind of snap it into place. And that looks great. Now if I change this back to normal and turn it on and off, you can see that the car is in the same spot between both images. We'll do the same thing with Krista Outside. Change it to difference blend mode. So remember, I turned this one off because I'm aligning them both to Krista Driving. If I aligned this one to this one and then this third one to the second one, it would just add more room for error. So we'll align them both to the bottom layer. And I'll zoom in here, click and drag around. Now, sometimes when you click and drag, if like I had this bottom layer selected, I would be moving that. I don't want to do that. If I have auto select turned on here, it will click and drag whatever layer is on top and divisible in the point of the image where I'm clicking. Sometimes that's helpful, like here that's helpful to make sure I'm moving my top image, but I usually keep it turned off so that I can select the area over here that I'm going to move, whichever layer I want to move over here, and then move that. Some automatic processes in Photoshop are helpful, some just aren't all the time. And as you use Photoshop, you'll get used to what you prefer. So let's change this back to normal blend mode, turn it on and off. Great, so now we have our 3 images perfectly in line with each other. This looks great. Now, I kind of tricked you a little bit because there is an easier way to do this. I wanted to show you this trick with the difference blend mode, just so that you know how to do it, so that if you needed to, you could align the images yourself. Another thing I could have done is I could have taken this layer, turned the opacity down, and then tried to oops. So I turn the opacity down, I can see both images, then I can drag one of them. Just using that difference blend mode is an easy way to see clearly both your images at the same time and see clearly where they're off. So that's a really useful tool for aligning images. Now Photoshop has a way of doing it on its own, and we will check that out right now. So I'm actually just going to exit out of all of these. If I want to open up all of my images into one document as layers, I can go to File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack. So from here, let's navigate to my 3 images that I want to open. And now down here, I'm going to select Attempt to Automatically Align. Don't select Smart Object, just this top one, Attempt to Automatically Align Source Images. Click OK. Now Photoshop is going to analyze the images, and where they're similar, it's going to align those perfectly. So now we can go through and see that our 3 images are exactly aligned. And this even rotated them a little bit and stretched them out a little bit so that the car matches perfectly. Now I showed you the other way because again, this technique doesn't always work. And you need to know how to do it on your own when necessary. So let's just align these in the correct order. I'll bring Krista driving to the bottom like that. And now we're ready to get to work.